If you want martial might, look to Moubu. If you want strategy, look to Riboku. But if you want to unify all of China, then look to Shouheikun, because the entire fate of the warring states as we know it rests on this one man. To begin with, let's talk about the coalition invasion. When it was confirmed that a coalition of 6 states were invading Qin, Shouheikun was the only one to keep his cool. The first part of his genius is that his abilities aren't limited to warfare on the front lines. Before the coalition army even arrived at Kenkoku Pass, Shouheikun already dealt them a great blow. By utilizing Saitaku's diplomacy, he immediately removed Qi from the playing field. It wasn't a battle won, but rather a reduction in the size of the war itself. It wasn't simply weakening the coalition army. Shouheikun's move also created a psychological threat with Qi behind all the other now vulnerable states. The second part of his genius is losing in the short term by getting rid of all the defensive lines created against the coalition army, but stabilizing in the long term by making the sole focus on defending Kenkoku Pass. This one move turned what was initially a suffocating multiple front war into a single battlefield now in our control. The third part of his genius is where he placed his generals, particularly Osun, Moubu, and Kanki. Osun was to act as the shield, while Moubu was to act as the spear, and Kanki was to act as the trap. Kenkoku Pass was never going to truly collapse because Osun was placed in that exact position as a contingency. Remember, it wasn't Wei or Han that were going to break through. It was the Karen army that caught us off guard, which is where Osun came in to save the day. Shouheikun already placed reserves behind Kenkoku Pass to stop Wei and Han, so Osun played his role perfectly by stopping Chu's surprise attack. This meant that Han fell into the trap that was Kanki, who used the illusion of near collapse to slay their great general Seikai. As for Moubu, his role was simple but not easy. Defeating Kanmei did not just mean slaying the symbol of Chu's military might, but the entire coalition armies. It was another reason why Wei and Han were not able to push through the reinvigorated Qin soldiers, and it was only possible because of Shouheikun's echelon formation tactic. To think that all this was orchestrated by a single man, a man capable of reshaping even the most overwhelming of wars. But even that isn't the full extent of Shouheikun's ability. Not only does he reshape wars, he is able to build a system that reshapes the warring states. His 3 pillars. The first pillar is information. By creating a family register, Qin is able to confirm the number and location of all their adult men to once again raise a large army. But more importantly, it removes uncertainty. No matter how great a general, it is an undeniable fact that numbers matter. Since a family register means Qin's strength can be measured, Shouheikun with this one move not only pumped life back into the Qin army, but certainty back into Qin's grand strategy. Even then, numbers are also just numbers without structure. With the loss of Kanki and Osun, Qin not only lost military might but structure. Which brings us to our second pillar, reformation. By promoting Shin, Ohan, and Moten to one step below Great General, Shouheikun created a new layer of command, not replacing the great generals of old, but restoring Qin's ability to do battle once again on multiple fronts. And in a war that requires adaptability and coordination, the trio have no competition. They alone stabilize the entire Qin military. The third pillar is expansion. We now have information to measure our strength. We now have reformation to structure our strength. But neither of those matter if that strength doesn't continue to grow. Shouheikun's goal was never to simply rebuild Qin, but to surpass what it once was. So Qin making a move on Han isn't only a test of strength, it's an expansion of strength. To conquer Han means to turn an entire other kingdom into a Qin resource. Its land, population, and wealth, all to build up Qin to a point where it can no longer be matched. Not by Riboku, not by Zhao, or anybody for that matter. And still, these 2 arcs do not paint the full picture of Shouheikun. While he is known for grand strategy, he is not confined to it. During the Ai Rebellion, Shouheikun shows that he is capable of using his usual multi-layered thinking on the battlefield. With only 1,000 cavalry, he leads the frontal charge into an army of 30,000 men while ensuring every move is always purposeful goal and working towards his strategy. Beyond his martial might and strategic ability, Shouheikun also shows proficiency in leadership. He is not someone that constantly raises his voice, but rather recognizes the decisive moment to rally his men and transform their pressure into momentum. All these things happening at the same time only verify Kyogo's words, that Shouheikun is a man as strong as Moubu while being as smart as Riboku. Even if one were to argue that he is not better than them, for Shouheikun to exist in the same class is already impressive in itself. Even his duel with Duke Juteki reflects his multi-layered nature. He chose to disable the man's arm before slicing off his head. In Shouheikun's case, strength, intelligence, and leadership are one and the same. No matter if it's in the royal court or on the battlefield itself, all three traits are expressions of a single mind at work. So in the coalition invasion, he reshapes war itself. With the three pillars, he reshapes the warring state itself. And with the I Rebellion, he reshapes what it means to be a complete commander. Grand strategy, systematic design, execution on the battlefield. Most commanders excel in one, but Shouheikun operates across all of them. So again, if you want martial might, look to Moubu. If you want strategy, look to Riboku. But if you want to unify all of China, look to Shouheikun. Because by now, there is no comparison. The fate of the warring states rests on this one man. If you made it to the end, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think of Shouheikun in the comment section below. Also, it would mean a lot to me if you left a like, share this video with a friend, and subscribe for more Kingdom videos like this.